Okay now, it's actually rather cold, but I've got the door open so I can have enough light in here to film this. I've seen a lot of, let me move that. I've seen a lot of people showing off their hobbies, so I thought I'd show off mine. And mine consists of my shop and my tools. And so let me go through a roster. So it's a bit dirty in here because it's the middle of winter. I have tinkered a bit, but I just don't have the energy, time, and patience to do a bunch of spring cleaning right now, which I will soon. Anyway, starting over here, this is my collection of nuts, bolts, screws, etc. My dad taught me years ago that if you throw something away, before you do, take a screwdriver and pliers and pull every screw and nut and bolt off of it and throw it in a coffee can. You never know, you may need it one day. Well, he was right, and I have needed them one day, many times. I mean, here, this is my collection of washers, for instance, and nuts, C-clamps, pulley clamps. You never know when you're going to have to hold a pulley together. Really, really, really big bolts are in this one. I've got springs, old set screws, hex cap heads, Woodruff keys, you never know, hose clamps, you never know when you might need a hose clamp. Matter of fact, and extras down here. This is a drawer out of the old house kitchen back in the day, and they were throwing them away, so I grabbed them, figuring I might be able to use it for something. Well, I've been using it to hold old bolts. Speaking of hose clamps, this is a heater I picked up for my favorite price, free. It was busted. What was wrong is the thermostat on this knob is all messed up. So you have to push, hold, and turn to turn it on. Then let go, and the thermostat is supposed to keep it on. Well, you push, hold, and turn, and then let go eventually, and it goes out. So I got a hose clamp, and I clamped that shut. Then I power it or turn it on and off from the propane can. It works. This is a table saw right here. I use it a lot as a workbench, but it's a table saw. I'm not very much into, as AVE puts it, dead tree carcasses. I make things from wood when I have to, but I'm not into it from a hobby perspective. I took this was a junk, really old Craftsman table saw that I got at Goodwill, and I grabbed a piece of steel, a couple of scrap steels, and welded them to the top here, and made basically a welding table out of it. And it works in its way. This is the welder I use. This is an old Tombstone Cracker Box Lincoln, and it's an AC only. I wish it was an AC/DC, but hey, you do what you do. I started welding with that welder under there. That one is a YouTube special from China. Piece of crap. It showed up broken, and it lasted maybe a day before it started knocking breakers out. I just held on to it because I figured one day I might be able to use that metal box for something. These boxes contain power tools of one kind or another. There's also a hand crank drill down there. It's kind of cool. But, I mean, I've got sanders, grinders, saws, all sorts of things there. Other power tools down here. More down here. More on the bottom drawers of this thing. Also, I have, well, let's see, that's a Sawzall, and that's a Makita drill there. Very industrial quality stuff. Oh, and this is my collection of sockets. As you can see, I have a few. You may wonder how I got, well, I think I've told the tale where I had a toolbox of mine ripped off when I was working at a gas station. Well, I bought this toolbox at Harbor Freight, and the tools are a lifetime's worth of collecting, but mainly, of late, I've been going to like Goodwill and yard sales and the like, and I pick up old tools. So I have like, oh, let's say half-inch sockets. I have gazillions of them because I picked up a bunch. These ones are metric, these ones are English. And these are English, and these are metric. No, wait a minute, those are English. Oops. Those are metric. Right. And you never know, you might need a socket drive or some itty bitty tiny, I mean these are mainly the wrenches you use for adjusting a carburetor. Huh. Also I pick up these. You never know when you might need something that's honking huge. These are from this pipe threader gizmo here over are all 1 inch and larger, and that's 1 inch and smaller. And then we have some specialized wrenches here and here. Also I have this cabinet. Get this out of the way. Oops. Held together with magnets because it doesn't have any good things on it. But buffer, that's a cutoff grinder, rheostat, a few automotive tools. That's a welder regulator, but I plan on getting into using propane or what is it, acetylene welding, but I still haven't done that thing yet. I'll do that later. There. Okay, well, other tools. Okay, this is all files in this box. Other long tools are in there. This is my antique wrench set. I mean, I have everything, including, I think this, yeah, these are the kind of wrenches you would have found in your Model A. They're old Ford wrenches. This is my Dalton lathe, which I restored, and I'm rather proud of it. I took it from a rusted out old hunk and made a functional lathe out of the thing, and it works like a champ now. This is my first lathe. This is a little Grizzly mini lathe that I picked up. Isn't worth much of a toot, but it taught me how to do a lathe, and it got me interested in wanting that Dalton. This is my grinder. I got this from Dad, who got it from one of those back of a semi, make the guy an offer, pay in cash, and walk away with a box sort of sales. And I have no idea what the origin of that was, but I put new grinding wheels on it, and it works like a champ. This is another one I picked up at Goodwill, and it works okay. I made this buffer gizmo out of a motor and a gizmo I got from well, George Miller, actually. This I got at Goodwill and had to rebuild. I put a new motor on it because the old motor had burned out, and I put a new blade on it. I think it still needs some more work. But other toolboxes I picked up, metal boxes here. This is sitting on a bunch of a store of metal, various pieces for scrap metal for working on things. Those are mainly surplus ammo down there. Generator, power washer, shop crane, more toolboxes, wheel pullers, drive bits, punch, Allen wrench, chisel, scroll saw, honking huge socket set, collection of, well, this is actually nuts, bolts, and washers, and bearings, and things. You never know. I've got many and many drawers of those. These boxes are mainly ammo of one kind or another, and so are these. I do a lot of reloading. Bullets, and yeah, both cast and jacketed. The cast ones I cast myself. This is specialized metal, brass, aluminum, copper, bronze, things like that. And this is my mill. It's a Jet 16 mill drill, and I picked it up from a surpluser around here and then restored it. I'm rather proud of it. It didn't even have a motor that worked, so it does now. And as you can see, I have my own switch for the thing. It's running on 110, so it's only running at the moment in one direction. I could put a bidirectional motor on it, but why bother? Here you'll see a bunch of reloading equipment. Those are dies in those boxes. Here we have agitator for cleaning off brass. Up there are various brass for various calibers. But, oh, and then over here we have powders, primers, various chemicals. This contains drill bits. Lots and lots of drill bits. Mainly drill bits. I mean, I have everything from itty bitty tiny ones to really, really big ones. And some of them are in these bit lockers so that you can tell what's what. Some I'm still working on filling up with the correct drills. This is a Kennedy toolbox I picked up, from interwebs. I think I did a video on it once. And this one I got from a local surplus store. It's completely loaded with various kinds of pliers. This is the plier area. This I just picked up at another surplus store, and I've got it loaded with end mills for the Jet 16. And reamers and other things. Anyway, that's my shop. Other people may spend their money on cars or woodworking equipment or the like. Me, this is my what I call tool porn. I have this thing of, if I go out, I'll do the rounds of used stores, and I'll look in their tool section and see if they have anything new. Well, new to me. And I think I'm going to shut that front door so that it gets a little bit warmer in here. But I think that provided just enough light to show off my my weird shop. I know it's a big building, but I'm using just about all of it. Notice my lighting system, by the way. It didn't have much light in here, so what I did is well, that light there was Walt, when he sold out of the old hardware store. He got rid of these lights. Had two of them. One of them broke. I put those lights up there to replace it. And I have other lights around that are all ganged into the same extension cord. I mean, my wiring is a OSHA nightmare, but so what? Anyway, that is where you'll find me most days. This is the yard, by the way. Pretty spiff, I think. That's a foundry. Anyway, that was it.